All right, on to the next step, guys. Drywall is about to go up. We have done our membrane on our concrete walls. We have our framing. We got our insulation up on the outside, interior, and the ceiling here. A lot of people put drywall on the ceiling. Some people leave it open. Some people even paint it black. I think it looks kind of cool. What we are going to do is put tongue and groove pine on the ceiling, and we're going to do that after the fact, after our drywall. So right now we're going to start in this corner over here, and we're just going to put it all the way in the corner, all the way up. It's going to be the easiest way. You can do this by yourself. Just have your tools handy. Throw that drywall up there. Get 1-2 screws in the bottom, a couple in the top, and then yeah, start securing the rest. Make sure you put it as tight as possible. I've thought about cutting off our factory edge, which is where your drywall curves in basically a little bit, to account for your taping. We won't be taping the top, so we don't necessarily need that. I could cut the top off, but I don't really think it's necessary. With the tongue and groove over it, I don't think you will even notice that factory edge. And we could always throw some drywall mud over that anyway. So let's get hanging. Show you how I hang drywall by myself. If you're hanging drywall by yourself on the roof, good luck. I'm not making a video for that today because I'm not putting it on the roof, but you might as well get your buddy if you're hanging drywall on the roof. Just make sure you load your offhand, drill in hand, offhand, just in your bag. Load that thing up with screws. You're going to freaking hammer through those screws. You're going to be screwing here, screwing there. You need a lot of screws. You need a lot of screws. Make sure you buy the big pack at like Lowe's, so you don't have to go to like the little hardware store and then pay like $20 for 100 screws. Pro tip: if you do bang your drywall up a little bit, it is okay. You can repair the damage down the line. It's just more work you have to do to finish it. So be careful with it. Alright guys, took me a second to get the depth set right on this. Blowing through there, left and right. But yeah, set's nice now. Alright, as you can see here, I blocked off this window. It's covering a majority of the window. Just one solid piece. I'm going to use an oscillating tool. You can use a hand drywall saw, or you can just cut this out beforehand. But where it has this little piece here, it's just easy. I'm going to run this blade along this unfinished window casing, and it's gonna be super easy. So let's get to it. All right, so we went a little bit over on this side, and we went a little bit under on the top. We went back and trimmed it once we could see that. Even though we went a little bit over, we went about a ½ inch over on a small section right here. It doesn't really matter because you're gonna put trim around this window and it's not even gonna matter. You won't even see it. So let's keep going. All right, guys, so we have all of our drywall hung in this room now. If we were doing the ceiling, that would be done first before this, but we're doing a tongue and groove pine on that. So don't worry about that. There are mistakes in this drywall. There are blowouts, big gaps and whatnot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pre-fill, and we're using all-purpose for this pre-fill. You could just use Quickset, but since it's at our own house, I'm not worried about doing it in a smaller time frame and making less trips. I'm just gonna pre-fill this, let it dry for a couple days, and we'll keep working on it. But this is just, if it's your first time drywalling or trying to tape or mud or anything like that, you need to pre-fill. That way, when you have a large amount of mud going in a crack, it's going to shrink and it's going to crack. So this is meant to go in there and shrink up and crack for the majority of it. All right, so we're going to go around the room and talk about this a little bit. This is a big gap. It's only, or this was big because of where I cut that hole. It was a little bit low, and I'm not super worried about it. I can fill that, and it'll be perfectly fine. Small little blowout there. Probably just got caught on it. What else? What else do we have? Up here we had a few catches on some staples that were sticking out. You could cut that out and put a new piece in. We're just gonna pre-fill it. Same thing over here again. It happens, doesn't matter. All right. Sometimes this one I just totally forgot to cut, and then after the fact I punched through and I was off a little bit, but it's not an issue. We're gonna fill it up, it'll be fine. You know, cracks like this, you could throw some in there, probably be fine. Stuff like that's gonna be fine. Nothing too crazy, just your big stuff. Get some mud in there, let it dry. If you need to do it twice, you can. Make sure you can clean off all the excess, that way you're not having to sand it. It's just in the hole. So let's get to it. Oh, rusty knife. Hard to resist, got me looking like this, like no one before. 'Cause I must be strong. 'Cause this might go on for long. 'Cause I was wrong, and he's always good, nice, pushed in there, filled in. We sanded this whole room. All the drywall is done. We just primed it with Kill's drywall primer. We did 2 coats just to give us a nice, good base. You could probably do 1 coat, but we went with 2. I'm going to see if a gallon is going to stretch this whole thing. Just the walls, so let's get to it. Alright guys, moment of truth. The mist just went and picked this up from Abishan. It's like a minty green kind of thing. Let's see how it looks on this wall.
Left on the floor, looking up, wanting more. This is so unreal. Out of my mind, how could I be so blind? How could I not see? I must have been wrong. 'Cause your love is strong for him. Why would it not be? He's always there for you. I keep living alone. We're so far from home.
Alright, you guys, paint looks pretty freaking sweet. On to the next thing. We're going to do tongue and groove on the ceiling. Picked up the floors today also. It's going to be sweet. Make sure you check out this playlist. Check the whole progress of this build, basement, finishing. I'm sure you're looking to do the same thing, guys.